After taking 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox earlier this week, the White Sox are starting to string together some wins, posting 6 of them in their last 9 games. And tonight, they'll look to continue to show their talents as they welcome the boys from South Beach to the South Side. It's Johnny and the Sox taking on the Miami Marlins next. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Alex Rios, Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Mike Redmond's Marlins of Miami. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the first of this 3-game set and the fourth of this 8-game homestand. We just finished all 3 with Boston. Of course, they had an off day yesterday. And then we'll play these guys 3, finish it off with 2 against the Cubs. But tonight, the big story, Johnny Danks.
After almost a year, John Danks is going to take the mound again, and he's very excited about it. I talked to him before the game, and he said that he's got to keep the adrenaline down, but he feels very good. I talked to Don Cooper, and he said no pitch limit for John Danks tonight. He's not worried about how many innings he throws. He said if we can get 6 out of him, we'd be ecstatic. But if he's got 80 pitches at the end of 6, he might let him go to 100 pitches. It all depends how he gets there, but we're looking for some big things. Well, the Marlins coming in with that 13-34 record. Their offense has not been good at all. In fact, it's been the worst. So Johnny's got a break there. Well, they've got 11 guys on the disabled list, and at first base, at least, they're down to their 5th first baseman. You see it right there, last in winning percentage, last in batting average, last in runs. This is in the major leagues. 18th in earned run average. So things aren't going well. They're also last in on-base percentage. This is a team that you have to beat. Hopefully the sweep is in order. We'll see as it goes along, but we got to get the first game first. Let's get them tonight. Well, can Alex Rios extend his 17-game hitting streak? Find out next. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. It's a very chilly night, although it's gotten up to 50 degrees at game time. So for the first time in just about a year, maybe a little bit more, John Danks will take the mound. And he is one very happy man to be there. And here's Mike Redmond's Miami Marlins. Echeverria leading it off, a promising youngster at shortstop. Then it's Polanco. You know him from Detroit with Dietrich, Ozuna, Ruggiano, Coughlin, Olivo, Green, and Jeff Mathis, the catcher, and hitting 9. The defense and how they're going to line up behind John Danks. Left to right, Diane Viciedo, Alejandro Diaz, and Alex Rios on that hitting streak. Connor Gillespie, Alexei Ramirez, Jeff Keppinger, and Paul Konerko at first. Hector Jimenez getting the nod behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is John Danks. There are the 4 rehab starts, 3 of them in AAA, 1 in AA. He was 2-0, the ERA pretty good at 3.18. The only problem the last 2 times out, he had some problems with his control, but as he got a little stronger, apparently he wasn't hitting his spots very well. But the cutter looked good. The cutter was at 84 to 86. The changeup, he had some problems hitting his spot with. That has to be low and away to the right-handers. And we'll see how he fares tonight. The umpires for the game tonight. Doug Eddings behind the plate. Angel Hernandez is at first. Paul Nard is at second. And the crew chief, Dana DeMuth, is at third. So they've thrown the ball around the infield. We're ready to play baseball on this chilly night. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stoney. Thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. First of 3 against these Marlins from Miami. As here is the Danny Echeverria. And the first pitch of the ball game is high and wide. That adrenaline factor certainly has got to be an element.
I think that's one of the things he really has to fight through. He's got to be able to calm himself down, and that'll come.
Guys, the bunt it, fouls it back.
Echeverria was one of the top 2 or 3 prospects in the Toronto Blue Jay organization in that huge deal, which sent Mark Burley and sent Jose Reyes, along with a whole lot of other moneyed players to them. They got him in return. One of the guys they got in return.
Marlins come in hitting at 222 with a 4.05 team ERA. Echeverria just 24 years old. Do that one by him, and here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line. 375 in the gap, send 400 straight away center. That was a cutter. It had good movement on it.
Trying to get it inside. That ball stayed up a little higher than he would like.
Well, the big pitch for Johnny Danks, as all Sox fans know, is the changeup. And in the past, when Steve and I have talked about him, it was really elementary and pretty simple. If he keeps it down, he usually wins. If he gets it up, he usually gets beat.
And that's what he'll have to fight, because adrenaline will make you keep that changeup up.
And the last thing you want to do is throw high changeups to a club that's struggling offensively. To anybody, but especially a struggling offensive club, because that's the one pitch they can hammer.
And you got a pretty good idea that Echeverria is going to be swinging at just about everything. In fact, there's a lot of young hitters in this lineup and a lot of guys that will be over anxious.
Yeah, that was way up out of the zone and foul tipped it. We had played these guys, though, in interleague play 9 times. And of the 9 games, we have won 4 of them. Of course, that was when they had some different looking ball clubs.
A completely different team.
And that has popped up. Gillespie. And 1 out.
Well, we've got the youngster just on the verge of starting his career, and we've got a guy who was a terrific player, but now at 37 years old, slowed down a bit.
This guy was a winner. Placido Polanco, a good player. Very much under the radar nationally, but to his hometown fans, teammates, and opposition, they had nothing but respect for this guy.
You didn't want to face him with the game on the line.
Not at all. One of the best I've ever seen at moving the ball to the right side when he had a man at second and no out.
That's what he's done lifetime against our Sox. Still remember him in Detroit, taking a couple just down the line in left field and hitting him out of the park.
I also remember Polanco throwing the leather against us, not making any mistakes. Talking about Detroit, as we speak, they're leading 3-0 over the Twins. As there's a 2-hopper. Oh, he played that one nicely. 2 out. And Miguel Cabrera with 2 RBIs already in that ball game.
That's really surprising because he hardly ever hits.
Well, this is their 46th game, okay, and so far he has 57 RBIs. You know, I was talking to my 2 guys outside. I call them my research team, 2 young fans, huge Sox fans. We were talking about Cabrera as I walked into the ballpark today, and I told him, I said, you know, we might be just looking at the best hitter who ever played this game. They were telling me he's on pace to hit like 390.
Drive in 200.
Close to 2. It was 190 something. Yeah. Yes, that's. But he might just be, if he keeps going, he might just turn out to be the best hitter ever play this game. I mean, I know that's a wide statement.
Well, one of the things that obviously he has to do, and it's the only thing that you would say might be a problem, would be injuries. And he stayed relatively healthy, but
he plays through them. He plays through those injuries.
We remember when he had 2 bad ankles.
Couldn't
and still
run a
played.
lick.
No.
All he did was kill us.
Yeah.
I know one thing. If I'm managing the club against him, he's not going to beat me. Fielder can do it. And Fielder's having a good year, which is he's a good hitter. And I love to watch Prince play because he plays hard. But I'm not going to let Miguel Cabrera beat me.
No, and that with a right-hander or a left-hander on the mound doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't make any difference to him. He gone. Dietrich is out of there. Nice first inning of the season for Johnny Danks.
Yandy Diaz leading off, then Ramirez hitting second with Rios on that 17-game hitting streak. And interleague play, he's been terrific. Then it's Dunn, Konerko, Viciedo, Gillespie, Keppinger, and Jimenez. The defense and how they'll line up behind Kohler. It's Coughlin, Ruggiano, and Ozuna in the outfield with Polanco, Hechavarria, Dietrich, and Green in the infield. Jeff Mathis gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Tom Kohler. He's got very good stuff, has a good curveball. He throws hard, tops out around 95, 96, but control somewhat of a factor. 9 walks and 22 1/3. He does have a very good arm, however, and we'll see if he can find the control tonight.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. First pitch strike. That was 92 on the board, but it looked a little crisper than that. And we talk about a lot. There are 3 kinds of 92s. According to how it comes out of your hand. And the count, that was at 94 and the count 0-2.
Well, what Diaz would like to make him do is like to see him throw a few pitches so that some of the guys in the dugout have an idea about some of his stuff. And there's the curveball and a good block by Mathis. That's his wipeout curveball. Bounces well in front of the plate. He's got a changeup, which is a work in progress. There's that 95 where we've been hearing so much about.
Reminds me a little of our Eric Johnson, who's down at Birmingham. This guy might be just a little quicker. Meanwhile, 1 out.
And Green at first base that time probably did something that he didn't want to do, and you see the look on the face of Kohler. Now Green's a shortstop, so he's playing first base just out of necessity. He's also their backup infielder. But he was so far away from first base, you don't want the underhand toss. It was low. Kohler had to right himself, and he, fortunately for him, was able to get the bag. But you like an overhand toss that far away.
There's Alexei. Hitting at 280, a homer. He's driven in 9. Eric Johnson and this guy about the same size. Eric was very, very impressive in his last outing. We saw him in spring training. On the short hop down to Polanco, 2 down.
Kohler was a Marlin 18th round draft pick in 2008. And the 18th round netted him 1,000 American dollars to sign. But here he is in the major leagues because they've had a number of injuries to their starting rotation.
So here is Alex hitting at 306 on a 17-game hitting streak. Yeah, but our Eric Johnson down there is 3-2 with a 2.44 ERA and 9 starts. 51 strikeouts and 51 innings. Only 15 walks.
That's what Kohler has done during the course of his career. That's in a parts of 5-year minor league career.
That's a high pop up right side. And nobody's going to be able to get there. And let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Demangia, our director and crew, well, they went with Yazin. Conor Gillespie is Steve's pick. And Donna Taylor, Mark Zucker. And myself, we're going to go with Hector Jimenez. Donna, big Sox fan. Watching in tonight. Tops that one foul. And of course, Mark runs the food service here for Levy Brothers, just does an absolute sensational job.
You should see some very good play out of Hechavarria at shortstop. He's got terrific range. He's got a very strong arm. And they feel that he's going to be around in Miami a long time.
Checks it up. Good check.
Mike Redmond, their manager. You might remember him from his days with the Minnesota Twins and his terrorizing of Mark Burley.
There's Hechavarria. And an easy 1-2-3 inning after 1, no score. In Chicago.com, Dan Hayes, and what we're going to report on today.
Well, before the game, we got a little bit of bad news on Gordon Beckham. The White Sox reported that he's taken a few days off here until Wednesday because he's got a little bit of soreness in that left wrist, that surgically repaired left wrist. It's been a very nice return so far. Obviously, you guys have seen some of those numbers. He's hitting about 320 in those 5 games that he's played at Charlotte. But at this point, there's some soreness that's crept in there, and they're going to hold him back for a few days.
Well, I think that's probably to be expected. I've had trouble with 3 broken right hands and some bad wrist, and you do something like that, I've never had them operated on like that. You're going to have some soreness.
Yeah, and it's probably going to cost him another maybe 10 days or so here. But when you look at it, we're at 38 days right now since the surgery. This is usually a 6 to 8 week progress or recovery, and that would put him around 7 weeks when he got back to the club, and that's something that obviously he wanted to be back a lot quicker. But they got to kind of go with how this is taking them.
And I'm sure a lot has to do with certainly the vibration of the bat. I mean, you're going to not hit as many pitches as squarely as you'd like when you're just coming back after that long a layoff, and so you get more vibration. With the vibration causes the soreness, and that was the only thing he was complaining about. The rest of his game was just fine.
Yeah, he's had a chance to stay physically in good shape all along. He just couldn't hold the bat, and it's not surprising. I mean, this is an 8-week injury, and he was very pumped up and adamant he wanted to be back after 6 weeks, but it's kind of run its course.
Ozuna. Marcell Ozuna. There's a ground ball. Well, the thing too is that Gordon is not a one swing at bat guy, which some players are. They'll just swing the bat one time. He checks the swing up a lot, and when you check your swing up with that left wrist being operated on like that, it's going to get to you. There's no question about that.
I imagine needing some confidence in that too, to stand in there and foul back a 96-mile-per-hour fastball like what happened with Gio Gonzalez. It's just going to take a few more days here, but they're saying that there's nothing alarming here. There's no bone to break. The bone's gone. It's just kind of getting the nerves used to it again.
Good enough, Dan. Good job, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Dan Hayes from CSNChicago.com. Luciano. Justin flies out for out number 2. Yeah, you're going to. Gordon's going to have some soreness. And even when he comes back, he's still going to have some soreness for a while. I know him. By rehab and recovery from some broken hands. It's not going to take him because he had a hamate in his left hand. But when you have something wrong with a hand, it usually takes about a year before you get your full strength back. Coughlin. Coughlin hitting at 234. He's 27 years old. He is a 272 career hitter.
Best part about facing Miami now is that Giancarlo Stanton is not back in their lineup. You just as soon not face him when he is. Because Stanton is their star, make no mistake about it. Last year he hit 290 in a ballpark not known as a great hitter's ballpark. He hit 37 home runs, drove in 86, and you just saw Mike Redmond, the new skipper of this team, and he says it's going to be a while yet till he comes back.
There's a broken back. Well, you know, he's the face of the franchise. 6'6", 240 pounds.
So the question is, can you convince him to stay around? And prevailing wisdom says probably not.
No,
because on the open market, this guy is going to bring a bundle. And with Giancarlo Stanton out of the lineup most of the time, this is what it looks like. Batting average abysmal, runs last in all of baseball, home runs last in the league, on base percentage last in all of baseball.
He goes. So that is 6 up, 6 down for Johnny Danks. Good to have you back, buddy. Axelrod joined coaches from the Bull Sox Academy on a visit to the Easter Seals of Metropolitan Chicago Therapeutic School and Center for Autism Research. Axelrod joined Academy coaches and training over 100 students at White Sox Field with separate stations dedicated to different baseball techniques. The visit was part of the White Sox continued support of Easter Seals after previously donating $1 million to aid in the construction of the Therapeutic School and Center for Autism Research. Just another huge donation by White Sox to the community. Back to the community as Adam Dunn fouls it back. Adam at 163, 11 homers, 25 knocked in.
Infield playing Dunn as a dead pull hitter with the shift on, and the outfield playing him a touch toward left center field as an off-field hitter.
Also want to send out a big White Sox hello to Amanda Schnoblin. Another terrific job on our national anthem. Amanda, one of the White Sox employees, does a terrific job. That's inside.
In the last 9 games, as you can see, Adam, who started in Minnesota to hit the ball to left and left center field, is really starting to heat it up.
Three and 1 to count.
Jeff Mathis slated as the backup catcher. Broke his collarbone out of spring training, and he's back for just the 4th game.
And there's ball 4. So the leadoff walk.
Looking for a flexible ticket plan for the 2013 season? Well, the White Sox have one in Pick 7 and Pick 14 plans. Lets you select the games you want, including great matchup, promotional nights, and the Crosstown Cup Series. Pick 14 plans start at $101 per seat, and the Pick 7 plans start at $64 a seat. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com to order yours today.
And here's Paulie, his last at bat, cranked out his 5th homer. Had a little nubber, got plenty of time, and quickly 2 out. Also a real nice article by Jeff Passan, yahoosports.com, about Herm Schneider, Dr. Payne, talking about how much money he has saved this franchise over the years. There he is. What a job he has done. What a job he has done, and how many millions of dollars he has saved this organization.
He could be adding it up right now as we speak.
Oh, Dr. Payne.
It's been a most unusual year because perennially this team has very few guys on the disabled list and very few days lost to injury. But this year has been as an unusual year as we've seen.
All over baseball, it's getting to be more and more and more and more DLs. I mean, not to say they aren't warranted, as he doesn't get that one, but I am really of the camp, so to speak, that agents are playing a huge part in a lot of these DLs. That's out of play.
I know the one thing you won't see very often is take a look at the contract, look at the guys in the last year of their contract, and you find very few of those guys going on the disabled list. In that option year, they stay remarkably healthy.
Yep. And that's 2. That's Perry. And that'll retire the side. Leadoff walk, the double play, the ground out after 2, no score.
to you by Miller Lite.
His old friend Miguel Olivo. Miguel, a DH tonight, hitting at 194, 3 homers. He's driven in 5. Lifetime against Danks. He's faced him 22 times, has 7 hits, 6 of which stayed in the park. Checks it up and takes ball 2. Miguel, a terrific individual.
Olivo with a world of experience. He still can catch, but he's got a surprising bat at times, and that's one of the reasons with the Marlins desperately looking for offense why he's the DH.
He can run, and we know he can throw. Stole 29 bases for us when he was in our system down at Birmingham. Change up.
And there's an example that John's feeling pretty good. Otherwise, you just don't throw a 3-1 changeup. But he had Olivo well out in front of it, as you would expect. He's sitting dead red, and he gets a good change. That's probably the best changeup John's thrown tonight.
Doubled up on him. And that is out number 1.
And strikeout number 3. So far, it doesn't appear that Johnny Danks missed any time. It's hard to believe that he missed a year.
Yeah, doesn't look like it. First baseman Nick Green hitting at 204. He's a lifetime 236 hitter.
Well, Logan Morrison was supposed to be their first baseman, and then he got hurt. And they decided on a couple more first basemen, and then they got hurt. Then they used Greg Dobbs for a while. Casey Kochman. Then he got hurt. Mahoney. And then he got hurt. Now down to their utility infielder Nick Green at first.
There's the strike. Matt Diaz, Joe Mahoney, Donovan Solano, Giancarlo Stanton, Chris Valleca, Henderson Alvarez. He had the good arm. Henderson Alvarez's. Jose Seda, Nathan Eovaldi. As that got him.
Well, that's how the perfect game ends, with a hit by pitch. He's thrown the cutter inside, and that couldn't feel too good on the outside of the left leg.
So here's Mathis. Jeff, last year at Toronto hit 218, 8 homers, and drove in 27. But they have 6 guys on the 60-day disabled list.
Yeah, it's been very bad for him. I'm talking with Mike Redmond, who didn't have any idea about any of the guys on his club before spring training. He was with the Toronto Blue Jays organization, the low minor leagues, as a manager, got this job, had to familiarize himself with most of their talent, only to see a whole lot of their talent disabled. And there's a look at Mike in his first year. But he's a catcher, and we've seen a lot of catchers become exceptional managers.
Mike's one of those guys that you figured, just watching him and go about his job the way he did it, his approach at the plate, he really hurt us a lot of times in games with base hits, especially when you mentioned Burley out there on the mound.
I think Mark probably wants him to make sure that he's not going to unretire. That's what I asked him beforehand. I said, you know, Mark Burley's pretty happy you're managing. Yeah. He'd like to know if you're going to come back anytime soon. I said, no, I don't think so.
Well, you get those situations. There's a strike. General Manager Billy Smith of Minnesota Twins ran into a situation for his first 2 years. They had nothing but injuries, and here Redmond in his first year as manager is running into an unbelievable injury-filled situation.
Especially when you're not too deep to begin with.
Right. Yeah. He gone. There's that change, keeping it down.
4 strikeouts, no walks, a straight change that just kind of dives in the zone. Our Menards pitch tracks will show you that the changeup location and velocity for Johnny Danks doesn't get any better than that last one.
Echeverria fouled out to Gillespie. Yeah, Redmond's one of those guys, if they'll just leave him alone, he'll probably be there for a while.
Well, that's what I asked him. I said, do you think that Mr. Luria and Sampson will be patient enough to let you see this thing through? He said, I certainly hope so. But I believe when they hired him, they realized that these next few years were going to be a project for them. They've got some good young players. They've got some guys coming. But for the time being, you're just going to have to suffer through the growing pains of a very young team, a team that divested themselves of a whole lot of money and a lot of good players to go young and go cheap.
Takes it up. One hopper to Paulie, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the third, still no score.
Stats, tweets with Sox in-game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
No score, bottom of the third. It'll be Gillespie, Keppinger, and Jimenez, lower third of our order. Getting back to the Marlins, they've probably got the best record, certainly in the last 15 and 20 years, of having a low payroll and getting tremendous results. Larry Beinfest has done a couple of unbelievable jobs down there.
Well, they've always had terrific scouting. Orrin Freeman is one of those guys that's just outstanding. And I agree with you with Larry Beinfest. He's just been terrific. Now, the one team that Wayne Huizinga won with, they spent a great deal of money and bought some very good players, and it turned out very well for them. But the next team they won with was a complete teardown and rebuild.
That was unbelievable.
And that's where they really showed in 2003 that they could do it.
And there's a base hit, so you can cancel the post-game show. Now, the worst thing I've ever seen in my career in this game was strike of 94 when Donald Fear just took him out and didn't care. Didn't even care. They missed the World Series. And of course, that's when I love hockey, and you know how much I love hockey, but I don't feel that bad because they knew what they were getting when they got Donald Fear. And the next worst thing I've ever seen in my career was the teardown of that World Championship team they had by Huizinga.
Yep. And the sad part about it, number one, regardless of what Wayne had or didn't have financially, he didn't wait around to reap the benefits of a championship team. I mean, it's the next year when you really draw, maybe 2 years. And he had stars on that team and some terrific players on that ball club. And he just disassembled the whole outfit. And with guys like Dan Jennings, who's absolutely outstanding. He's a vice president of player personnel and assistant GM. They just do a terrific job of restocking. And we're going to see the next wave of very good young players starting to come up. There's a few of them here, and we'll see a couple more as we go along. Of course, we won't be playing these guys, but next couple of years, you'll be hearing some pretty good players coming to the Marlins.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. No. Well, I think one of the reasons Huizinga dismantled it was because of the fact I think he had identified the franchise to put a dome on that stadium down there. And then when they were going to have him put it on, that's when he wanted to bail, and he bailed. There's a strike. So the count now 1-2 to Keppinger. Keppinger hitting at 204. Homer, he's driven in 12. Top of the 6th in Detroit, 5-0 Tigers. Cabrera with 2 RBIs.
And Anibal Sanchez pitching in that one. Boy, he's been absolutely terrific. Looking at his numbers overall, you know, the Cubs came an eyelash from signing him, but Detroit came up with another $5 million, and you know, every $5 million helps. So he turned down 75. He got 80 from the Tigers and signed with them, and they are ecstatic he did because he's been really good.
Too much time.
Not to mention the fact that tonight Sanchez has a no-hitter going into the top of the 6th inning.
Top of the 3rd in Boston. Red Sox leading Cleveland 3-1. No score. Angels at Kansas City, bottom of the 2nd.
Terry Francona's return to Boston was triumphant last night. Cleveland thumped him.
Cleveland's been thumping a lot of guys.
It was a 12-3 game, and they jumped all over Ryan Dempster.
Get him at first, but let's see what's going on here.
I think it got him in the back.
A bullet.
It goes 1-4-3, and they're going to come out and check him because that was a vicious line drive off the bat of Keppinger. Right off the middle of his back. The question is, did it get the scapula on his right arm? See Paul Nauert calling the fact that he trapped it. If he catches it, it's going to be a double play.
They're rubbing his arm. Looked like it got him in the back. Oh boy.
It's pretty scary.
I hate to see line drives back to the middle.
That's why pitchers who fall off to either side, it's very difficult to defend yourself. Watch it again. He falls off to the first base side.
Says he's all right.
It's going to leave a mark.
Well, Bud's had his autograph on a lot of body parts in his time with the commissioner's office.
It comes back in a hurry.
Well, that's,
you're 55 feet away from home plate.
I just hate to see that. So here's Hector. Hector hitting at 241, a couple of homers. He's driven in 7. Takes a breaking ball strike. I believe I told you my first year I had a line shot right back through the middle against Palatka pitcher. That was at Cincinnati Farm Club. Big left-hander named Max somebody, about 6'5", 6'6". Hit him right in the forehead. So he gets back up, Steve. He gets back up after, you know, 4 or 5 minute delay out there, and I'm standing right there when he got up. I thought he killed him. So he finishes that inning, comes out the next inning. All of a sudden he just stands there on the mound, looks around, looks at the lights, walks off the field, walks off right through the gate, and leaves the ballpark. He just, you know, concussed, and they finally got him and brought him back, put him in the hospital.
Jeez, lucky he lived through that.
Well, ever since then, obviously, I never. The only time I ever tried to hit the ball back through the middle was one of two things: if somebody knocked me down and upset me, or a left-hander with a changeup. Every time I saw that, I tried to knock him off the mound with it. Ball gets away. So Gillespie into third.
It's got to go as a wild pitch. That was a tough pitch to handle because Mathis normally is a very good catcher. In fact, that's one of the reasons they insisted on him coming back from Toronto in that big deal. They're ruling this one a pass ball.
No, that's a wild pitch. They'll change it.
It did hit off the glove, but it was way inside. He had to shift, and he didn't try to backhand it. He tried to catch it.
Infield in. 2-2 pitch. Got him.
Well, Hector is saying that the ball hit the ground and get an appeal at third base with Dana DeMuth. But Edding said I could see it. I'm not sure exactly how. We'll take
a courtesy. DeMuth gave him the out sign as Hector looked down there at him. So a big strikeout.
He caught it. That was a clean catch. That was in the glove. Did not hit the ground. Good call.
And here's Diaza. You got Polanco in close at third. Green halfway at first. Outfield very short. All the way around.
And they are changing that pass ball, taking it away from Mathis and charging a wild pitch to Kohler. That'll be the 4th wild pitch of the year. Alejandro's been good with runners in scoring position. He'll have to be good again.
Ball into left. Coughlin, fair territory, makes the catch. So we have a great opportunity, can't capitalize, and we are still scoreless.
Cool Ranch Doritos, Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Mas.
No score, top of the 4th inning. Johnny Danks in his first start of the season, if you're just tuning in. Here's a breaking ball strike. Polanco grounded out to his counterpart, Gillespie. And you can cancel a post-game show.
Time now for a Head and Shoulders, the whiff pitch sequence. We'll take it pitch by pitch, all 5 of them. So Dietrich looks at a fastball, then fouls one off his foot, fouls off another one. That curveball high, that slider low and away, and there is the strikeout.
So here's Dietrich. That is high and deep. Alex back looks up, and it is 2-0 Marlins.
Second home run of the year for Dietrich. 6th driven in. And he was so excited he almost was running up the back of Placido Polanco. Ford home run replay. It's a fastball. It's down. And Dietrich, who came over in a deal with the Tampa Bay Rays, took it over the bullpen.
Dietrich, just 23 years old. And this foul back just below us.
You remember his grandfather. Remember Steve Demeter?
Oh, yeah. Played against Steve. Outfielder for the Tigers.
That's his grandfather, and Steve used to take him to games, used to work out with him. He said he owes his career to his grandfather.
Grandfather was a pretty good player. There's one out. And Ruggiano.
Send us your comments on tonight's game through Twitter using hashtag White Sox Talk, and we'll read one back later in the game.
Got 3 with these guys and then finish off this 8-game homestand with 2 Monday and Tuesday against the Cubs. There's Paulie. Makes the catch, but the base hit by Polanco, the high towering 2-run homer by Dietrich, and it is 2-0 Bad Guys.
in-depth coverage in Chicago kicks off at 5 as Chuck Garfien and Bill Melton bring you a special hour-long pregame live from the ballpark. Watch the Crosstown Cup presented by The Great Escape Monday through Thursday on the home of White Sox baseball, Comcast Sportsnet.
That's the story. Bottom of the 4th inning. Make no mistake about it. These Marlins might be really scuffling, but this young man out there on the mound, 26-year-old right-hander Tom Kohler, has good stuff. Good curveball. Alexei grounded out to third.
That curveball at 81 miles an hour is not going to be hit by anybody.
No, he's got a good arm. He's got good stuff. Here's another one. Alexei thought that ball was high. Meanwhile, it had the zone and the count 0-2.
Well, pretty good pitch. Not as good as the first one, but good enough.
And there's a line shot. Get down. It won't. He made the catch. Beautiful play by Ozuna. Marcell Ozuna. That's a hang woofum for Alexei.
Mike Redmond believes that Ozuna is going to be a very good player and part of the outfield of the future for this team. He's big and strong, and as you can see, pretty adept at the outfield. He does have a very strong arm, and hopefully it will not be on display tonight. That was a whale of a catch.
Yes, it was. And here's Alex. He grounded out to short. That's sucked up by Polanco.
Stop by Bacardi at the Park at U.S. Cellular Field. It's at Gate 5 Plaza. Bacardi at the Park offers a full menu from Gibson's Restaurant Group and opens 4 hours prior to all home games. Bacardi at the Park, you can grab your friends and please visit us.
Well, that's Vasilios Silprasas. Our Greek buddy. Alias Sil. And Mario brought some nice food over before the game tonight. Yes, here is Adam Dunn. He walked his first trip. I'm talking about food. We got something going on with Gasper and Deshays, don't we?
Yes, we do. And let's hope we win that one.
Yeah.
Because if we lose in that series, we're going to have to eat 2 bison dogs from Wrigley Field. I don't know about you, but I saw Dances with Wolves, and I don't want anything to do with bison dogs.
I just watched it day before yesterday.
Yeah. But if they win, we have to do that. If we win, they actually got the much better of the deal. The grilled Vienna sausage, we bring it to Wrigley Field, and they eat it. I'm thinking that we got to renegotiate that.
Kohler thought he had that one. Well, 2 nice guys. 2 good announcers, Lynn and Jim Deshays.
And there's an example.
We're going to take them down.
I would think so. Tatanka.
There he goes, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. Beautiful catch by Ozuna, and Kohler leads it 2-0. 2, 2 and 0 for them. No runs, just 1 hit for us. Tom Kohler, that youngster, has some good stuff out there, as does Johnny Danks tonight. Johnny gave up the single to Polanco, 2-run homer by Dietrich. The only 2 hits they have, and that ball hit well into left center field. We got a man there. So Miguel now 0 for 2. Tomorrow, the Jake Meister against Ricky Nolasco. That game will be over Fox. And then on Sunday, our unsung hero, Dylan Axelrod against Alex Sanabia. And that game will be over WGN. Green fouls it back. He was hit by a pitch his first trip. He was the first Marlin base runner. 0-2 the count.
John is just pumping strikes. Here in the 5th inning, he's only thrown 59 pitches. As you can see, he's kept them to a minimum. He's been consistent. Thrown just 60 of them.
He gone. The old changeup.
Great motion for that changeup, as that ball doesn't go down, but it does move away from Green, and he's the 5th strikeout victim.
Mathis struck out his first trip.
You look at some pretty impressive numbers for a man who hasn't been out on that major league mound for over a year.
Yes, indeed. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3. That is 6 in a row retired by Johnny Danks. We're halfway home, trailing 2-0. We need some. We only have 1 hit. a single by Gillespie.
And actually what turned out to be almost a terrible situation for Miami turned into a very good situation, because if that ball goes through the middle, probably going to be first and third, nobody out in the second. It hit off the back of Kohler. One hop to Dietrich, who made the play at first, and they got out of the inning.
Paulie looks at it, strike one. Paulie 0 for 1. Outfield shading him to the right. Gap out there in left center.
I'd like to send along best wishes and birthday greetings to Michael Ruby, who turns 27 today.
He's a handsome guy. He ought to be in the movies.
He should be.
He could be very easily.
Outside the fact he can't act, other than that, it's just a small
Let me tell you,
drawback.
when you're that handsome, you don't have to act. There's a base hit.
Well, on Wednesday night, Paul had some very good at-bats. And this time he's able to bring his hands in. This is a fastball that Kohler tried to get in and off the plate and try to throw it by him. But 93 is not enough to get it by him, and turns into a leadoff single.
Tank grounded out to Echeverria. Good rip. Just underneath it. That ball was ticketed to right center.
The last 13 games, Viciedo hitting .357. He's hit a couple of home runs, driven in 8, scored 8, and almost unbelievably, he's walked 8 times.
Whoops.
It was one of the few, well, I guess you could call it a slider. It wasn't his good overhand curveball, but it was short and quick breaking. Here comes the curveball.
Chopper to Hopper. Can't turn it. So 1 out.
Konerko got down there and got up there in time to at least disrupt the rhythm of Dietrich. Tank beat it anyway, and then good job by Green to make sure it didn't go into this, either the stands or the dugout.
Takes that fastball nicely. At 93, 1-0 the count. 2-2-0 for them, 0-2-0 for us. 2-run homer by Derek Dietrich, 23-year-old second baseman. Yeah, I like this kid. He's got good stuff. Got a nice presence on the mound too.
We're going to see their best tomorrow, and that's Ricky in Alaska.
I have never seen Ricky pitch in person, but he's going to have to show me something to have better stuff than this guy. He might be a better pitcher, but
yeah, I'm not sure he's got better.
No.
I'm not sure he's got better stuff than this guy. But this guy is really just starting his career. In fact, he was out of the bullpen for a while and would have stayed there, and they might not have known just what he could do, except for the injuries. And then when they came along, this is his third start.
Yeah, he's got good stuff.
Speaking of good stuff, Anibal Sanchez heads into the 8th inning in Detroit with a no-hitter against the Twins.
I watched him about 3 or 4 innings. Must have been a week or 10 days ago. Stevie, I'll tell you, he was throwing into a teacup.
Yeah, he's a pretty good pitcher.
He had those guys. Forget who it was he pitched against. They had no chance.
You can understand why not only just the Cubs in Detroit, but a lot of people were after him.
Just got a piece of that breaking ball. Keppinger on deck. First of 3 with these Marlins. .49 degrees as we speak. And here we're getting close to June. Unbelievable. The last 5 years have been almost blueprints. I don't want to hear anybody else tell me about the global warming.
No, now it's climate change.
There's a shot, fair ball. So Vizquel going to be held at third on the double by Gillespie. Just a bullet off the bat of corner.
Green comes off the bag, and on this low, looked like a cutter, Gillespie just takes it right down the line by him. Now, a normal first baseman makes that play, but Green is not a first baseman. He's a shortstop. That ball gets to you much more quickly at first, and literally he put up the glove as the ball was by him.
He just found that out.
Yeah, he found out that maybe that position might not be my future, but he's there because they got everybody else hurt. So there's a break.
So here is Keppinger. He had a bullet off the back of Kohler, and it bounced over to Dietrich at second, who trapped it and threw him out. Yeah, those middle infielders who have to go to the corner for whatever reason, being injuries, they find out that ball gets there a little bit quicker.
Ooh.
There's a chopper, free hopper. Oh, nice play by Echeverria. But we get on the board and it's a 2-1 game.
We were talking about how good Echeverria was at shortstop. Now his bat is lagging somewhat behind, but defensively there's not much that he can't do. But to get all of that talent, Toronto decided that they would have to part with him. I don't think Miami makes that deal without Echeverria included in it.
Pick him up, Hector. Hector struck out his first trip on a breaking ball. Tying run at third with 2 down.
That's RBI number 13 for Jeff Keppinger. Two very powerful hitters talking about what Kohler has.
94 upstairs, hard for him to get to.
And reading Paul's lips, he's talking about the fastball and how it moves.
That breaking ball chop foul. And that Tiger 6-0 lead, Steve told you, going to the 8th. Anibal Sanchez with that no-hitter, but Miguel Cabrera, in case you're just tuning in, did not hear, has 2 RBIs in that game. He now has 57 RBIs, and this is their 46th game. This is the most I can remember since Juan Gonzalez had that unbelievable first half a long time ago. There's a shot, base hit. They will tie up this ball game. Yes. Attaboy, Hector. Just reach out and poke it at to left center field.
Well, he took advantage of a pitch that Kohler got up. One of the few real mistakes he's made. Take a look at the location. It's up and out of the zone. It's a fastball. And Hector just reaches out and ties it at 2. 2 out. Runs batted in. Can't win without him.
And the irony of that statement you just made is the fact that we have been doing a great job of 2-out RBIs.
Especially recently as things have gotten a little bit better.
This outfield is the shallowest playing we've seen all year, isn't it? Even including Kansas City.
Well, I think Ruggiano in center field is just about as shallow as you'll see.
Yeah, he's in Dwayne Wise territory.
He's got good, but he doesn't have astonishing speed in center field. He was ticketed for their 4th outfield. But I think you're right all the way around. I don't think they're respecting the power of Diaza, and he's got some pretty decent power. The no-hitter continues through 8 for Anibal Sanchez. So he's got 3 outs to go.
I'm going to put it on my iPad and see what. Maybe we can have Minnesota with a big comeback.
They can need a real big comeback.
You think?
Unless they can get into that pen.
Breaking ball. Dietrich. But it's a nice rally right here, putting 2 on the board, and we're tied at 2.
The Marlins and the Blue Jays. Blue Jays acquired Bonifacio, Buck, Burley, Johnson, and Reyes. A lot of money and a lot of good players. And in return, they traded some of the future with Alvarez, Descalfani, Escobar, who they traded to Tampa Bay, Echeverria, Mathis, Marisnik, and Nicolino. And Marisnik is going to be one of their outfielders of the future, along with Ozuna.
We got ourselves a 2-2 tie here in the top of the 6th. Top of the order. Echeverria, Polanco, and Dietrich to face Johnny Danks. Takes first pitch strike. Echeverria is fouled out to Gillespie and had a little check swing grounder to Konerko at first. A big White Sox hello to Emerson and newly acquired Camden. Leary watching it tonight. Camden already is Emerson's big brother. At 2 months old. He's a horse. There's a breaking ball hit for the leadoff single.
Sox fans, on Tuesday at 7:10, your Chicago White Sox take on the Chicago Cubs, and the first 10,000 fans receive a 3-1-1 travel bag presented by United. United, proud to fly the Chicago White Sox. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
All the great folks at United, Mark Seipolt, Joe Bonilla, Mike Corrigan, and all the girls, and of course all the great folks at Atlantic Aviation who do such a great job. Nick and the gang. Here's Polanco. This is his specialty right here. In a close ball game, leadoff man aboard.
One of the things that he could do wherever he went was he would immediately become the team's best hit and run man. And I don't think Redmond is going to use it in this situation, but Polanco does it exceptionally well and perennially one of the toughest guys to strike out.
That's very. Oh, look at this. That's not a good execution right there.
Now you need the ball a little more firm on the throw to second base. If you get it, you got a chance at 2 because Polanco doesn't have much speed. Can't get the throw off. Polanco, who had grounded into 6 double plays, just dodges his 7th.
Well, that's one of those plays. Now he was too far down to where you could go ahead and throw to first, and then you couldn't do it that way. But you got to go at him. The only way you're going to have a chance is go at him hard as you can. You try to tag him and then try to get Polanco at first. Here's Dietrich, a strikeout in that high towering 2-run homer.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it is the only scoring for the Marlins tonight. 2nd home run of the year for Darrell Dietrich. Gives him 6 driven in, and a piggyback ride almost as he catches Polanco rounding the bases.
Dietrich's got some pop. Hit 22 homers in 2011 at Bowling Green. All right. All right. No. Yes. Rack him up. We go to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 2.
and it's the double play by an eyelash at first. Dietrich just a bit tardy, and a good call by Angel Hernandez as Sox turn 2 out of the inning and preserve the 2-2 tie as Johnny Danks, rolling along through 6, has looked absolutely brilliant tonight.
Well, we could not have hoped for anything better.
Now this is, in talking with Don Cooper, he said if I can get 6, I'd be happy. However, if it's a minimum of pitches, I'd have no problem with him going out for the 7th. And so far, it's been a minimum of pitches.
Here's Alexei. He's 0 for 2 last time up. Hit a bullet. A low line drive in the right field that Marcell Ozuna made a beautiful play on.
And there's a look at Coop, who's talking it over with Robin Ventura just about what he thinks at this point.
There's a one-hopper.
This is a sinking line drive, and Ozuna takes it right off the grass. That ball gets by him. At least 3, possibly an inside the park home run, because Ruggiano has no chance to back him up.
You mentioned also, when you were describing Ozuna, that he had a very strong throwing arm.
Yes, he does.
Have you noticed in the last few years that most of the strong throwing arms coming into the American League are Latin players? And now talking about in the outfield.
Well, it could very well be that they get an opportunity to throw a lot more.
That's exactly what happens. There's a base hit, and there's the 18-game hitting streak for Alex. So good speed aboard. He's now 1 for 3. There's no question they throw more.
It remains a career high in each and every game that he extends it. It's a new career high for Alex Rios.
So here's Adam. Goes through it. Come on, Adam, 1st and 30, buddy. Dunn has walked and struck out.
Well, the no-hitter is by the boards as Joe Mauer takes a curveball right back up the middle.
Two balls and a strike. Alex, 8 for 12 in stolen bases. Two 5-0 for our guys, 2 3-0 for their guys, and this is the first start for Johnny Danks in 2013. No activity down in our bullpen. That breaking ball, and the count 3-1.
It's been a 9-0 contact for Adam with a strikeout and a walk. They are shifting on him, but Dietrich isn't all that deep at second. He's just got 1 foot on the grass and now coming forward.
Good rip. Short and quick just underneath it.
He gets a fastball on the outer third and down, which is exactly where Adam wants it. Has a good swing, but comes up empty.
Just a decent lead by Alex. There he goes. Got a good jump.
Organize a group outing of 20 or more fans for a Sox game during the 2013 season and receive savings off the individual game ticket price. Enhance your outing by upgrading to our new Miller Lite Bullpen Party Porch, pregame patio party, diamond suite, or one of our other great party areas. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com to book your group outing today. And there's a look at the party porch, the home of the Bertucci boys.
Bobby Bruno and Handsome Anthony.
And despite some temperatures that actually are going up as this game has moved along, the folks out there are having quite a night.
Pick him up, Paulie. Paulie 1 for 2. Outfield still shallow. Coughlin in left and Ujero in center. And that Detroit game is over. There's a breaking ball low. Anibal Sanchez had 5 games in his career allowing 1 hit or less.
Jeez.
That's a major league record.
That's something. Well, he's got terrific stuff, and he gets just about everything over the plate. The only thing that's ever stopped him in his career has been a couple of injuries. Other than that, when he's healthy, he's a terrific pitcher. And they have, meaning the Tigers, have quite a starting rotation, but they have a lot of bullpen problems.
Well, that's what we talked about in spring training. Their 5 starters I think, are stronger than ours. There's a way to pick him up. Yes, he just flips it out there. So Alex will score and Sox lead it 3-2. Yet another 2-out RBI.
One of the reasons why this is some good hitting is that he hit a fastball last time up, and he hit a fastball inside. And you got a pretty good idea that he was going to see something that wasn't a fastball, and he was going to see it away. That was either a cutter or a slider. And Paulie just reached out, knowing most likely he was going to get some sort of off-speed pitch, and drilled home his 19th of the year, and a big one.
Well, as I mentioned, we talked about in spring training, Tigers got 5 real good starters. And they have a better offensive team than we had. Yes. They certainly got the best hitter in baseball. But where we got them is in the bullpen by quite a margin, and certainly defensively when Beckham gets back.
And when we get together defensively, this will be a better defensive team than the Tigers.
Yes.
And especially now when they're missing Austin Jackson. Curveball. It has the zone. It's a late breaking curveball.
Got him, but not before the clutch 2-out RBI single by Paulie. Sox lead at 3-2.
Chuck to support the South Side in the crosstown clash. It's Chuck versus Cap, a Chicago baseball Twitter war. Get in on the action and tweet Team Chuck now. Watch a Crosstown Cup next week or Comcast Sportsnet to see which team comes out on top, and that's a great likeness of David Kaplan. I assume he's going to be suing before too long.
Well, he's going to lose.
Yeah, well, you know, Chuck is pretty much going on hair power.
His first pitch strike.
Come on, Team
Ozuna.
Chuck.
Well, you know, I think personally, I think we should be betting more, you know. Uh-oh. Lead off single, maybe double. Here he goes. So the leadoff. Sox lead it 3-2 here in the top of the 7th inning.
And the bullpen is up and going. Double barrel action in the Sox pen. Thornton and Lindstrom as a tying run in scoring position to lead off the inning. Marcell Ozuna with a hard hit double.
Luciano going out to center and popped to short. And here comes Robin, and he's going to make the right move right here. Johnny Danks has just pitched too well. Just pitched too well to even give him the opportunity to lose this ball game.
I agree entirely. Plus, he's gone the 6+ innings. You gotten what you want out of him and then some. And Robin's going to make the call to the pen. And it's going to be Matt Lindstrom as a standing ovation greets Johnny Danks as he walks off the mound. And you can bet there are chills running up and down his spine right now. This is a long time in the making. And a lot of hard work.
You better believe it.
So in comes Lindstrom, and we'll step out and be back.
Stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Athletico Physical Therapy. Athletico Physical Therapy, better for everybody. So purchase tickets today. WhiteSox.com or 866-SOX-GAME.
And it's our Honda call to the pen, and it is Matt Lindstrom. Lindstrom last time out was very good. His record 2-2, the ERA 4.5, on for the 23rd time, so he's been a busy man. He inherits a tying run at second base.
Well, the thing I've liked about Matt Lindstrom so far, he's thrown the ball well every time out. He's been out there. The problem, though, when he's had a problem, is that he just doesn't have quite the command of the fastball. Gets a lot of them down the middle.
Fastball's good enough.
Oh, yeah. But not down the middle. So here's Urgiano. Squares the bunt.
Kind of interesting because there's a lot of managers that won't do this, and that is playing for the tie on the road. But Mike Redmond, a brand new manager, maybe wanting to get his team at least a taste of being in tight ball games late with the tie or a run ahead.
Well,
at least on the first pitch, looking for the bunt.
It's amazing. A lot of times there are always exceptions to the rule, and I'll give you both sides of the page, because there's a breaking ball. Mike Redmond was not what you call an offensive player.
No.
So, and his club has had trouble scoring runs, so he's going to try to get this game tied up or get a run anytime he can. Now you got to go to the background of a lot of these managers. But on the other side of that page, Tony La Russa couldn't hit a lick, and he was one of the best offensive managers the game has ever seen. As he fouls that pitch back.
But when you have a guy that has one sacrifice all year in 150 at bats, you get the feeling that he's probably not going to be a real good bunter.
No.
So again, the art of managing is knowing what your players can't do. Everybody knows what they can do. And at least for the first two pitches, Ruggiano can't bunt.
Well, you got to find out what they can't do, and then don't ask them to do it. One and two.
Nice stop by Jimenez. His breaking ball, his hard slider in the dirt is tough to corral.
Bottom of the seventh at Fenway, 4-1 Boston over Cleveland. That's him back into it, full count. Kansas City has tied up the Angels at 2. That's in the bottom of the sixth at Kauffman Stadium. There's the base hit. They're going to hold him now. He has that strong arm of Viciedo. So he lets him off the hook by going full.
And that fastball splits the middle of the plate, and even though it's 96, Ruggiano able to take it into left field. So now some very big problems with runners at the corners, nobody out, and Chris Coughlin comes up.
He has struck out, and he has looped out softly to first.
Here's a guy who was Rookie of the Year, had 2 great months in 2009 at the end of that season, and then injuries and inconsistent swings have gotten him to the point where he was not going to start this year except for some injuries.
Yeah, we just touched on it. On 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. The 96-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle doesn't mean a whole bunch.
Nope. Especially without some very good late movement.
Coughlin did have a strong 2 months.
Yes, sir. This slider disappears at the end, and he swung through it.
Yeah, in 2009 he had 47 hits in September. That was the most by a rookie since Hall of Famer Chuck Klein had 50. 47 hits. Wow.
Pretty good. See what Manny Machado has done with Baltimore.
I know he's a good player.
4 3-hit road games consecutively.
Wow. I know he was that good.
First time it's been done since Ty Cobb did it.
There you go. So Ruggiero picks up his 6th stolen base in 7 attempts.
This Miami team has run very well. 26 stolen bases. They've only been caught 5 times. With Juan Pierre at his advanced age leading the way, 13 out of 15 again.
He did not go.
And there's a look at one of the hardest working guys, one of the nicest guys you will ever meet, Juan Pierre. Talked to him before the game. He told me he still loves the game. Right now they're not playing him against the left-handed starters, so Johnny Danks starts. He sits. But he's a great man to have on your baseball team, an asset to your organization. If the youngsters watch him, they'll find out how to play the game.
Juan Pierre is one of the best guys I have ever seen in my career on a ball club. I don't think I've ever seen anybody who worked harder, or who was more respected by his teammates.
He told me he got off to a real slow start this year, not running the bases, but that turned him into a platoon player, hitting just .235. But how long you want to play the game? He said, I feel great. I'll just keep playing it as long as anybody will have me. He came on a minor league contract, had to make the ball club, and he did just that.
2-2 pitch. Got ahead of him like he did Ruggiero. And now let him back in at 3-2.
Bullpen up and going. It's A.J. Ramos.
So the sacks full of Marlins with nobody out. And that'll bring up Miguel Olivo, who has struck out and gone out to center.
Here's our AT&T U-verse multi-view. Pretty decent speed on the bases. Now Doug Eddings can go break it up.
Ozuna, Ruggiero, and Coughlin. And there's ball 1.
Don Cooper now trying to settle down Lindstrom. More than a vested interest in this one. John cannot lose it. He still stands to win it, but there's going to have to be some mighty clutch pitching to do that. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Get a 1-2-3 double play and go from there. There's a strike to even the count at 1. Just off the corner. And that is into right field. That's going to get the game tied as Ozuna will score. So it's a 3-3 ball game.
Just the 6th driven in by Olivo. And that one will close the book on Johnny Danks. 6+ innings, 3 runs, all earned on just 4 hits. Didn't walk anybody, which was a tremendous accomplishment. Fanning 5. All things considered, a most successful first start of the year.
That'll bring up Nick Green, who was hit by a pitch and struck out on a great Johnny Danks changeup. That's a little flipper out there. It's going to fall for a base hit, so that'll load him up again. Little duck snort out there. Jeff Mathis, the catcher. Mathis has struck out and gone out to left.
I don't know if he'll do it, doubt if he will, but when Mike Scioscia had him with the Angels, he could bunt and would bunt.
Blocked nicely by Hector. All right, right to the bag. There you go. Take it yourself, and it'll do it. But they come up with 1. 7th inning stretch, tied at 3. White Sox take on the Cubs. Also, the first 20,000 fans ages 21 and over will receive a White Sox Miller Lite beverage wrap. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite, your official beer of your Chicago White Sox.
And there's a look at Alejandro Ramos, or AJ as he's known to his teammates. 24 strikeouts and 23 in the 3rd innings with just 10 walks. So another one of the Marlin pitchers with a good arm. Had Tommy John surgery in college. A lot of teams don't mind signing a guy who's already had that behind him.
Well, if they want to send that Tom Kohler over our way, we'll take him.
And he's a good one.
That young man's going to have a, barring injury, knock on wood, he's going to have himself he's going to win a lot of ball games.
He went 6, gave up 3 on 6 hits. Fan 3, walked 1. Nice outing for the youngster.
Gillespie pops that one up. He was 2 for 2 with 2 bullets. And right now, let's check out our AT&T tweet of the game from Goose Sox. Says Gillespie has looked better than expected at third this year. He's no Joe Creedy, but I like him. In fact, we may never have another Creedy. Hashtag White Sox talk. And I'll tell you, Gillespie he's been something. He's been very impressive.
Well, realistically, Rick Hahn got him, and it's a good job of scouting by our scouts. Got him as an insurance policy and a guy that could play third or first and hit off the bench, which is an art because he has such a short stroke. Well, Beckham goes down, Keppinger slides to second, and now Gillespie's playing just about every day. And he's shown us defensively he's very good at third.
And as soon as he learns to get his butt down a little more, he's going to be even better. Watch out.
Green came on and almost took Mathis's head off, but then decided that he would give way.
Boy, it looked for a second like there was going to be a definite collision right there.
Well, skimmed a little bit at the top of his head, but Mathis came away with it. That's good concentration.
So here is Hector. He's 1 for 2, an RBI single with 2 out to tie the ball game at 2. That was in the 5th inning, a big hit. There's 93, strike. Pulled the string on him, had him way out in front.
There's a man who's been absolutely unhittable out of the bullpen, Jesse Crain. What a job he's done this year.
Jesse Stones. And that changeup will take care of him. We'll go to the 8th, tied at 3.
for you here, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that you defeat David. I'm hoping that you haven't bet a meal on it, because you'll be at the table a long time waiting for him to pay. As we look at Jesse Crain. Jesse coming into this one 1-1, the ERA 0.86. On for the 25th time. Last time he went to the hill was a bases loaded situation, 1 out. He was able to strike out the 2 men he faced, get out of the inning, kept the lead, and the ball club went on to win that. Here, identical, 3-6-0 for both teams as we head into the top of the 8th.
Echeverria, Polanco, Dietrich. Echeverria 1 for 3. Now make it 2 for 4. Looking for it, got it at 95 and laces it into right field. So the leadoff man aboard.
That fastball up and on the inner third of the plate. Echeverria just 1 out of 2 in the stolen base department. So he does not have great speed. One of the ways you know that is he's grounded into 9 double plays.
Polanco's that kind of guy that he doesn't care how hard you throw. And as you mentioned earlier, for years was one of the toughest guys in the American League to strike out. He's probably going to make contact.
And hitting over 400 against Jesse. But another guy that if he'll hit the ball on the ground for you, you can turn a pair. He does not have any semblance of the speed he once had, and it was never great.
Pretty good lead by Echeverria. Whoa, that was real close right there. But it was like a belt high tag.
And Konerko looked over at Hernandez.
He got back in there. Just did. That's foul straight back. 1-1 to count to the 37-year-old veteran. Here's another guy. Not unlike the manager he has right now, Mike Redmond. Polanco, if he desires or chooses to, is going to have himself a long career in baseball.
I think so. Of course, you never know what kind of plans the guy might have.
Well, if he chooses to, he'll probably have a long career.
He's been such a smart player that you'd have to believe he'd make a great coach, and who knows if he has managerial aspirations. I asked Juan Pierre that. I said, "You want to manage one day?" And he said, "Right now, not thinking about it, not in any of my plans." He said, "I just think I have a whole lot of playing left to do." So he's another guy.
There are a lot of guys you couldn't give them a manager's job.
It's not an easy job.
I never thought Robin would manage. I always knew that if he decided he wanted to, that he would be a terrific manager, but I never thought that he would, because Robin was one of those guys, you know, that made a ton of money playing the game. He's a tremendous family man. And we were just so happy that Kenny and Jerry talked him into it.
Well, he started off a very good management. I think the best thing that can happen to you is get into a pennant race in your first year. Regardless of the outcome, you learn a whole lot about yourself and about your managerial skills. He handles people so well that for him was a plus from the beginning. And getting a chance to manage a team down the stretch, and granted, team did not make it, but Robin is a better manager for it.
We just flat spit it out.
Yeah, no doubt.
couldn't score a run.
And we had a very tired bullpen.
Who still pitched well. But one thing about it, is that when you're in that hunt, our youngsters got a ton of experience.
And Don Cooper certainly was one of his greatest allies, because for any manager, if he's not a catcher and he's never pitched, the toughest thing he's going to be able to do or have to do is manipulate that bullpen, keep everybody fresh, know when to throw, when not to throw, know how many days in a row you can use somebody. And you can lean on a pitching coach as good as Don Cooper. And
well,
he did plenty of that.
Robin's got a tremendous coaching staff.
Yep.
And he does lean on it. And that's what good managers do. They let the pitching coach handle his job. They let the hitting coach handle his job. They let the bench coach handle his job, and so forth and so on.
Well, secure managers will give their coaches autonomy. Insecure managers will try to run everything, and you can't be that good to understand each and every aspect of the game and coach it as well as manage it. This doesn't work that way in today's game.
Well, you got some guys that micromanage every pitch.
And usually it doesn't work out well for them. Usually.
There's the strike.
They traded Yunel Escobar even up for Dietrich. And Escobar's got a world of talent.
Yeah, this kid here looks like he's just 23 years old. He looks like he's not as short as quick as Gillespie, but he's pretty short up there. Echeverria, decent lead. That quick move of Jesse Crane will shorten that lead up for you. And there's the changeup that misses. 2-2. 3-7-0 for their guys. 3-6-0 for our guys. Johnny Danks, if you're just getting home joining us, was outstanding. Better than we could even have hoped for. Change up. He did not hang one change up tonight.
No, and in fact, that was his best pitch by far. And when that's good, Johnny can beat anybody.
There goes the runner. There's the strike him out. Ball into center field. So it'll be a stolen base, just his second, and an error. But 2 out.
This throw bounces. And Alexei once again well in front of the bag. So even if he does stop the ball, he's not going to get a runner that goes to the back of the bag. Then the ball skips away, and he's at third.
Here's Ozuna. He's 1 for 3, a double. That started off the 7th inning, and that was the last hitter that Danks faced. Looked like he hit a changeup for that double. And that's out of play.
With runners in scoring position, the very young Marcell Ozuna, 8 for 18 with 8 driven in.
That Angel Kansas City game tied at 2 until the 7th inning. That's up high. Mike Trout was on first base, attempted to steal second. He was thrown out. The umpire missed the call. He was clearly out by a long shot. And they went on and scored 3 runs.
And with Vargas on the mound for the Angels, a tough task coming back at him.
There's another good changeup. 2-2 pitch. Alexei got to hurry. He can run. And he gets it. That'll retire the side. We will go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 3.
Blackhawks post-game live right after the game. Flip to CSN when Game 5 goes final for a full breakdown of the action and live interviews from the United Center. Watch Blackhawks post-game live presented by Hawk Ford tomorrow right after the Blackhawks game only on Comcast Sportsnet.
It's the top of the order for us here in the bottom of the 8th. Diaza, Ramirez, and Rios. Alejandro Ramos out of Texas Tech. Takes first pitch, strike out at 91.
Looking for a run here. And then let the bullpen try to protect it.
Change up. When they were out in San Diego in May earlier, he went to the Iron Man Challenge omelet at the Broke Yolk Cafe in San Diego. And that omelet consisted of 12 eggs. As he got him, another changeup. 1 out. That consisted of 12 eggs, mushrooms, onions, American cheese, homemade chili, home fries, and 2 biscuits. It must be eaten in under an hour. And he couldn't do it.
Well, there had to be a whole lot of cheese in it because 12 eggs is not that big a problem. Now the Indians I could do without. The rest of it would be pretty easy. I do like chili.
Steve can, with his size, can eat just about as much as anybody. Alexei 0 for 3 and was robbed of a base hit by Ozuna in right field. 2-0 the count.
Mike Dunn loosening up in the pen. He's been very good this year. 1.74 ERA.
And that's downstairs.
And it's Addison Reed loosening up in our pen. So if this goes to Adam Dunn, we'll see a stereo Dunn here in the 8th.
And there's ball 4.
Best thing that happened that at bat was not getting him in a position where he could throw that wipeout changeup.
And a reminder, join our Sox.com blacklist for free and receive the White Sox Wire email newsletter along with exclusive ticket offers, video sneak peeks, breaking news alerts, and more. Visit whitesox.com/blacklist. First and third in. Alex 1 for 3, extending his hitting streak to 18 games. And he also scored what at the time was a go-ahead run.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and it's our Miller moment. And it came in the 6th inning. That single through the left side means 18 games on the hitting streak.
There's a shank going foul and not playable.
And this season, only Marco Scutaro with a 19-game streak has been better than Alex Rios. And it's Evan Longoria, Kyle Seager, and Adam LaRoche, all with 16-game streaks. And Rios, at this point, the only one still going.
He's been our stallion.
When you see as hot as he's been, as good as he's been, you wonder at 56 straight by Joe DiMaggio. How can you be that hot for over 2 months when you consider off days and everything that went into it?
Well, he ran into Kenny Kelton, the third baseman in Cleveland. Made 2 outstanding stops to stop that 56 gamer, and then he backed it up with another long streak.
It is kind of funny, though. You never hear the pitchers that stopped it, but you do hear Kenny Keltner's name. They must have been some plays.
There were 2 outstanding plays. And that's yanked foul.
Polanco is right on the third base line, so it's not going to get to his right. But there is plenty of room because of how he's playing and where Echeverria is to hit the ball through the left side. So they'll give up a base hit. It's not going to give up a double.
Got him on a B pitch right there. Boy, that is a nasty, nasty pitch. You got to tip your cap.
It looked like a little slider. Right on the outside corner, a perfect pitch. And now I still believe it's going to be Dunn versus Dunn. As Redmond comes out, walking slowly, and he wants the left-hander. I'd just as soon see Ramos out of there. So as Ramos leaves and Dunn comes in, we'll step out and be back after these messages. very good left-hander, Mike Dunn. Dunn at 1-0, the ERA 174, on for the 24th time, so he leads the team in appearances. With 16 hits, 20 strikeouts in 20 2/3 innings. He inherits the go-ahead run at first base, and he'll face Adam Dunn.
Adams 1 for 3 against Dunn. But he's had a tough time against left-handers this year. 3 for 36, but one of them was a biggie the other night. 3-run home off John Lester. Oh, he's looking for it, got it, and just underneath it.
Well, that's the pitch to go after a first ball fastball. And if you get it, as Adam did, you take a good cut at it. The break that Dunn got was that it was well outside, away from the big bat.
Paulie on deck. Paulie 2 for 3 in this game with a big 2-out RBI. 3-7-0 for their guys, 3-6-1 for our guys if you're just tuning in.
Getting a good shot of Adam Dunn, hopefully with game-winning hit. Not on that pitch. Hard slider out of the zone and way off the plate.
Outfield now very deep and spread out. No double set. And we'll go to the ninth in this 3-3 tie. Not just a good time, it's Miller time.
And Robin, trying to buy an inning, sends Addison Reed to the mound. You bring your closer in, and normally you bring him in for 1 inning of work. Usually it's the 9th. And in an unsafe situation, Addison is going to have to get that adrenaline up. He's 1-0, the ERA, 2.14 on for the 22nd time.
Ruggiano, Coughlin, and Olivo, the scheduled hitters. Ruggiano, 1 for 3 with a stolen base. We were talking about Maggio's 56-game hitting streak, stopped by Kenny Keltner, the third baseman, with 2 brilliant stops. After that, he hit in 16 straight after that.
That would have been completely untouchable.
72. That's hit foul. Well, in AAA, he had a 61-game hitting streak.
It's
a lot of people will tell you that Joe DiMaggio is the greatest player that ever put a pair of spikes on. That's American League guys. You talk to a lot of National League guys, they'll tell you Willie Mays is the greatest player to ever put a pair of spikes on.
But I do know that Joe D didn't strike out a whole lot. And played in a very tough park for right-handers to hit.
He had 46 home runs playing in that big ballpark one year, which was incredible almost. That's into center field. That's a can of corn. So 1 out for us in the bottom of the 9th. Canerco, Viciedo, and Gillespie. But here's Coughlin. Chris, 0 for 2 with a base on balls.
And Gillespie has got to shorten up. You have to take the bunt away from Coughlin.
Angels trying to pick up their 6th win in a row. We beat them in the first 2 games of that 4-game set. They came back and won the next 2, and they haven't lost since. As there is 2 down. Here's a very strong Miguel Olivo. Boston leading Cleveland 8-1, top of the 9th at Fenway. Anibal Sanchez, a 1-hitter against Minnesota. Detroit wins that 6-0 with Cabrera getting 2 RBIs. Off the end of the bat. Boy, that didn't take long. Nice inning for Addison. We go to the bottom of the 9th, tied at 3. Piazza. Gillespie. And Jimenez.
That's going to bring in Chad Qualls, the much-traveled veteran, now for the 18th time. ERA 3.38, which is pretty good. Left-handers hitting only 194 against him, where the right-handers have hurt him. And it's going to be two right-handers who can hurt him and end the game with one swing to lead it off. Pinerco and Viciedo. Walsh was with Houston, started in 2004. Went to the Diamondbacks in 2008. And Tampa Bay. In 2010, San Diego, Philadelphia, the Yankees, Pittsburgh. And now finds himself in the bullpen with the Miami Marlins.
So here we go, bottom of the ninth. Tied at 3. Paulie 2 for 3 with that big 2-out RBI in the 6th inning. That put us on top 3-2. Takes ball 1. Takes the strike. That at 95, so the veteran still can run it up there. He's out of Lomita, California. That's where Ted Lilly, Irv Palika, former major league pitcher, and of course great Jim Thorpe were notable residents. That's outside. 2-1.
Qualls lives and dies with a sinker. And in the years where he's able to keep that sinker down, he's pretty good. But in recent years, he hasn't kept that sinker down all that much.
Yeah, it was chopped foul. Tank on deck and Gillespie in the hole. There's a chopper to Hopper. And 1 out. So here's Tank. He's due. He's 0 for 3. Tank has grounded to short twice and struck out. And takes first pitch strike.
That one was at 96.
A soft comebacker and 2 out. So it's up to Gillespie, who was 2 for 3, a single, a double. Might as well give it a go. This is when you reel him in, zone him in, and then try to light him up. Takes first pitch strike.
The outfield very deep all the way around, deeper than it would usually be for Connor Gillespie. They're shading him toward left center. A huge gap in right center.
That ball into right center field. And we will go to extra innings in this game, tied at 3. Beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side.
Matt Thornton comes into the game at 0-1. The ERA just under 4. On for the 22nd time. Lately, the control has not been what he wants it to be. And he'll be facing the bottom part of the order as Addison Reed goes 1 inning. He did buy the ball club the 9th, but to no avail as Qualls was too tough.
20,393 on a chilly evening here in the city beautiful. 45 degrees, now 44 as we speak. And here's Nick Green. It'll be Green, Mathis, and Hechavarria. Going after first ball, fastball. That one at 93. And the count of 1-1. Green 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch, struck out, and single. If he's just getting home, Johnny Danks was just terrific tonight. First start of the season. Oh yeah, and we'll check some scores for you. Game delayed after 8 at Citi Field. Tied at 5. Atlanta and the Mets. Top of the 9th in Kansas City. 5-2 Angels. Boston defeats Cleveland 8-1 at Fenway, as he just did get a piece of that. Anibal Sanchez, a 1-hitter as Detroit shuts out Minnesota 6-0. Joe Mauer broke it up in the top of the 9th inning. That's the 3rd time he's done that in his career. Broke up a no-hitter in the 9th inning.
Well, with a big enough lead, and they had one at 6-0. Well, he just hit him, so he'll be aboard representing the go-ahead run.
You don't want to do that. Lead off, man.
That slider right off the foot. Second time Green's been hit. Been on base 3 times. And you would assume Mathis is going to be trying to lay it down.
He is 0 for 3. Here comes Gillespie right at the cut of the grass as Mathis broke it down. You always want to either step off or throw over to first in quick fashion so you can give that third baseman and sometimes the first baseman a sign or tell. Breaks it down again, and there's a strike. Top of the ninth in Houston, 5-3. They lead Oakland. Texas leading Seattle 5-2. Bottom of the third at Seattle. Some finals. Milwaukee beats Pittsburgh 2-1. Yankees over the Rays 9-4 in St. Pete. Cincinnati beat the Cubs 7-4 at Great American Ballpark. That's a good one.
Well, we talked about Mathis's ability to bunt last time he came up, and he grounded into a double play. This time he does successfully get the bunt down, leaving Thornton with only one play, and that the first.
Here's Echeverria. He is 2 for 4. Came in hitting at 193. Takes ball 1. And there's ball 2. Three and 0.
This one close, but not there.
There's one. So he hits Green, sacrifice bunt. He walks Echeverria, and here's Polanco, who is 3 for 9 off Thornton with a homer, a triple, and a double.
Well, the only advantage that you might have here is the outfield can play a little more shallow for Polanco. And on a base hit, it'll make it tougher for Green to score. But he also is a very inviting double play target.
Broken bat. Outfield straight up, about equidistant. And as Steve mentioned, a little shorter than normal. And take your time, boys. You got plenty of it. Rack him up. So he pitches out of it. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Tied at 3.
3-3 tie, and we'll take a look at how the 10th ended. For the 7th time this year, Polanco grounds into a double play. Thornton induced a ground ball. Polanco does not run well anymore. And even with the high hop, an easy 2 and out of the inning. So the bottom part of the order looking for one skinny run.
Keppinger, Jimenez, then back to the top of the order with Diaza. First of 3 with these Marlins. And there's a good way to start it.
Ball's got that sinker up. And that's the one time where he's very vulnerable. So the winning run aboard with nobody out. And you see where that fastball was, top of the zone. The sinker can't sink. They turn into line drives and base hits.
So Jimenez, big hit, 2-out RBI single in the 5th. Ball gets away.
He hit him.
It hits him. So now men on first and second. Home plate umpire immediately, Doug Eddings, saying go to first.
And Mike Redmond is coming out and saying, you sure that ball hit him? And he's probably saying, well, he's limping. We'll take another look at it. This ball is going to get away anyway. But you see the redirect, and that's the key that it did get it. Because if it didn't get him, that ball would have stayed to the right of Mathis. But as soon as it hit him, it went to the left of Mathis, and now 2 out, nobody out.
And the corner's in close. Outfield, they're short, swung around to the left. Pulls it back just in time.
Polanco gets a sign from the dugout. Then he gives a sign to the infield on exactly how they want to defense this. If he stays back, then Qualls has got to go straight to the line.
Two and 0 the count. Don't help him out.
This is where Keppinger has got to be very careful, and being a middle infielder, he'll know that one of the options on the wheel play is the pickoff at second, and Echeverria is sneaking in behind him.
There's a bunt. They're going to
foul ball.
Whoa, we get a break right there. Wow.
I'm shocked he didn't go to third base. I think he thought it might have been foul. And it turns into a successful sacrifice.
What a break. What a break.
He's got this ball in plenty of time to go to third. I can only think that he felt it was a foul ball.
That's why you cannot assume. As they're going to put Alexei on to get to Rios, you cannot assume.
He might have assumed right, but it doesn't matter.
You can't assume that a ball is going to be called fouled. And the 3-0. Alexei 0 for 3 tonight.
And the advantage here is that you can't stay back because of the speed of Rios. If you had a lesser runner-up, you might think about being halfway and play for the double play. But with Rios, that's a winning run 90 feet away. I would be shocked if they don't bring the infield in.
They got the corners in, and double play depth for second and short.
That could cost them the ball game. Let's hope it does.
Outfield, they're short, as they should be. You got to come in. As there's first pitch strike. You play as deep as your arm will allow you.
The best arm by far is in right field with Ozuna.
And very quickly 0-2 the count. All right, come on, Alex. Cinch it up and hunker down. Bow your neck right here, buddy.
Runs batted in from third base with less than 2 outs. Alex Rios, 3/4 of the time, well above league average.
Out and around that one.
Good job of hitting to stay alive on a hard slider, low and away. Where Keppinger has to be heads up if Qualls throws one of those sliders in the dirt and 0-2. If it just trickles away from Mathis, you got to be able to score.
Good block by Mathis.
He did a good job on a tough pitch to handle. This ball just in back of the plate. He didn't try to catch it. He blocked it with his chest protector and it trickled out in front. Textbook by Mathis.
And it was a slider.
Hard slider.
Uh-oh. Can't get him.
He's,
oh, no! No!
He was safe at first.
No! No!
Well, Angel Hernandez blew the call, and the infield being back should have cost him the game. It didn't. Right there, he's safe.
He is
does
safe.
not have the ball.
And another blown call by Hernandez.
Right there.
There, and the ball, look where the ball is. Just flip another coin, Angel. Jeez. That's brutal. That is absolutely brutal. Flip a coin, buddy.
Well, now Matt Thornton will have to go through the heart of the order.
There you can see Moine saying he was safe. How long is it going to take? How long is it going to take? All right, here's Dietrich. Pops it up. One out. That'll bring up Ozuna. And here comes Robin.
He's got the bullpen going, and he wants Nate Jones. So Thornton does his job, gets the first out of the inning, got out of a tough 10th, and Adam Jones comes on. Matt Thornton walks out, and we'll be back. Comes into this one, nobody on base, one out here in the 11th inning. And Jones 0-4, the ERA up there, 6.33. Got a chance to win his first if he can get a couple of outs and turn it over to the offense.
Well, Nate's going to have to start throwing more strikes. It's just that simple.
Well, he's got a hitter up in Ozuna that swings at just about everything, as does Ruggiano. So get it close, especially with that good stuff, because nobody hits his slider when it's close to the plate.
The only time they hit is when it's a get me over.
Yep.
Ozuna. And if you're just tuning in, we're going to show you the reason. We're here in the 11th inning. Bases loaded, one out. Here's Rios. He beats the play to first, and once again, Angel Hernandez blows the call. That is getting to be, and has been, a common occurrence. There's a slider strike.
Too much of the plate on that one. Fortunately, Ozuna was taking.
He gone.
That last one was of the unhittable variety, especially against a young kid who's as anxious as Ozuna. This ball is a good foot outside.
Here's Ruggiano. Lugano has gone out to center, popped to short, single, picked up a stolen base, his 6th and 7th appearances, and gone out to center. Want to know the count. Didn't get the benefit of that call. It was a strike. Softly hit, caught. Good job by Nate. It'll be done. Canerco and Viciedo. Jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side.
Got another shot to win this one, but we'll have to do it against Ryan Webb. 1-1 ERA, 2.08. Now control has been a big factor with him. 12 walks in 26 innings. Webb, a big man, 6'6", about 230 pounds. Last year appeared in 65 games for these Marlins.
And here's Dunn. Canerco on deck, Viciedo in the hole. First pitch, Heim. One pitch, one out. Adam now for 4.
That's one of the few times you'll see him bounce out 5-3, but Polanco was playing as a normal second baseman would play, with Dietrich out in right field on the shift.
So here's Pauly. Pauly is 2 for 4 with a big 2-out RBI. Pauly gets the benefit of that pitch. Out and around that one. His dad Hank pitched in the major leagues for the Mets, 72 to 76, and the Dodgers in 77. There's a shot base hit, so Paulie picks up his third safety of the game.
Now the question for Robin is, do you pinch run for Paul? And the answer is yes, you do.
So Tyler Green comes out.
Well, you could tell that Paul's swing was getting a whole lot better against the Red Sox in the finale of that series. That was Wednesday night. And he follows it up with 3 hits tonight.
First and third in Tank. There's a chopper off the glove. Don't fall down, Tyler.
He almost had his feet go out from under him as he was digging around the bag and almost tripped. Joe McEwing is saying occasionally that infield will come up to bite you, son. Off the glove of Dietrich, and Green with good speed almost takes a header before winding up at third.
So 1 out, runners at the corners. Here's Gillespie, who's 2 for 4. They're going to put him on to get to Keppinger. And that'll load him up. So here comes Keppinger. He is 1 for 4. Single to start off last inning. So for the second time in as many innings, bases loaded, 1 out. Should have won it in the 10th, except for the missed call by Hernandez. So the corners, even with the bag and off the lines. Second and short, back where they should be with the speed of Keppinger. And there's ball 1. Steve, you had it right on the money last inning. They were back too far for the speed of Rios.
There was no
and
doubt.
It could have cost them the ball. It should have cost them the ball game, except for the blown call.
And now you can go back. But the outfield has to play once again fairly shallow.
There's a base hit. This ball game is over. Jeff Keppinger. Sox win it 4-3.
Keppinger drives in a pair of runs, one with a ground ball in the 3rd inning, and the game-winning run here in the 11th. So a very happy bunch of Sox on a night where the bullpen was pretty good. And the offense was just enough as Keppinger rifles it. And it goes right by Polanco. Big base hit. And coming away with a win in the first game of the series as Tyler Green brought on the pinch run, scores the winning run. So on a night that saw Alex Rios extend his hitting streak to 18 games with a 6th inning single, 3 hits in the 11th, seals the deal. And John Danks was absolutely brilliant. He went into the 7th inning. He fanned 5. His changeup was brilliant. He didn't walk anybody, gave up only 4 hits, gave up 3 runs, and got a standing ovation for his efforts. It was a year in the making. And there you see John Danks tonight. Our GMC player of the game. So Tyler, it was a long time coming. Took into the 11th inning, and I thought for just a minute the infield was going to come up and bite you.
John, I almost fell there. I almost lost my balance, but was able to recover there. Just wanted to make sure the ball got far enough away from the second baseman to go first to third.
Well, in a situation like that, do you pick up your coach, or do you realize that the ball had hit off the glove? Could you see it hit off the glove and then thought maybe you were going to be able to make it?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of that's something that you see, that you just kind of instincts you take over. I was able to see it kind of off his glove. At that point, I kind of made my decision to go and try to put on the boosters, and almost put too much on there.
Well, a big win for the ball club, and when you started to stumble, I mean, that had to be a really bad feeling for you.
No, I mean, I was just happy to recover there. Was doing everything I could to stay up.
Well, it's the all's well that ends well situation. You scored the winning run. Congratulations, Tyler, and go get him tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back.
All right,